Today we'll be learning about how to navigate in Linux. Now I'm going to make this larger so it's easier to see on mobile in case you're on a mobile device. But the basics are, which the first command you should know is ls, which is, I forgot what it's called, but first one is ls, which tells you everything. Now this is not what ls will look like for you because I have it aliased in my shell to use a different program, but this is what it'll output. It'll output a bunch of files. Now, the next command that you'll likely need is called cd, which stands for change directory. And let's go to desktop. And now you see we've changed desktops, or changed to desktop, the desktop folder. Do another ls and see what's there. And then if we want to go back a directory, do cd dot dot. Another command you'll use probably often navigating Linux is mkdir, which stands for make directory, which allows you to make a directory. If you do test, and you can go into test. Let's exit test. Another thing that you'll often do is you need to say make a new file. What you can do is do touch and test.sh, and that creates a file called test.sh. The edit test.sh, you have a few programs you can use to edit it. You could either do vi, which seems to not be installed in the system, vim, nano, or Emacs. VI is the most likely, VI and nano are the most likely to be the ones you'll find installed, but we're going to use vim for test.sh, which I'll write a quick shell script. Another command you'll use often, especially if you're running scripts, is a chmod. Now, there's all sorts of different codes. You can use like 777, 666, which you should probably not use. But for this one, something you can do very simply is do +x, which means add executable. -x is don't make executable, but we're going to make test.sh executable. And so now to run a shell script, you do period / or just period, you do period / and then test.sh, and that should output a command. And that brings us to the next command. Now we want to put test.sh in a more convenient location, not in our home folder. To do that, you can do mv, which is move. Let's move test.sh to test. And with another binding, it will tell me what has just happened. Let's go back. So if you do another ls, you'll see that test.sh is not there. Let's say we do want it back in our home directory, but we also want to keep it in that test folder. What we can do is do a cp, which is copy, and then do test. Actually, let's go into test. So we want to move this back into our home directory. We want to make a copy and put in the home directory. So let's do test.sh, and then to signify we want it in our home directory, do a squiggly line, then / that should signify that, so it should copy it to our home directory. And if you ever need to go directly back to home with cd, do cd alone, and that takes us back to the home folder. Say that we want to rename a file. There's no rename command, or is there? Okay, there is a rename command, but generally most people just do a move, so let's do test.sh, and call it final test.sh. That changes it, so if you do an ls, you see that final test.sh is now finished, or been renamed, and there's no test.sh. Let's say we want to look at the file and we don't want to go into a text editor. What we can do is use a program called cat, which is short for concatenate, which if you are a programmer, you should understand what concatenate means. If you do a cat final test.sh, it should output it to the file. To demonstrate what concatenate or cat can do file.sh and then do test, or it's a test.sh, and you see it merges the two files into one. And the last command we'll be looking at is called man, which is short for manual, which allows you to look at the manual pages for the system. So if you man cat, and it'll tell you, and then you use vim-like keys to parse the various pages. You can also use the arrow keys. And then H gives you the help page for how to navigate within a program called less, which man outputs to. So let's quit out of that. But you can see all the different options you can do for cat. And you can do all sorts of things. Like you can even look at the manual for man. So you man, you can see all the different manuals that have access to. You have for programs, system calls, library files, special files, file formats, games, miscellaneous, system administration commands, and kernel routines. So you see man3 tells us library calls. You might be wondering, what is that? But they are, or for the C programmers out there, so you man3 and then printf is, so if you are a programmer in C, you could look up various functions. Of course, you're probably just going to look it up online because that's the more sensible way of doing it. But if you're ever on an offline machine, remember, man3 is your friend. It will tell you a lot of things about C functions. Now, there's one more command I want to show you, which is apropos, which searches the manual files for keywords. In other words, I want to learn about output. It tells you all of the manual pages that have output in them. So I could do, so in other words, I'll look at vprintf. So man vprintf 3, and it should have output somewhere in there. Yes, it has output all sorts of in there. So if you ever don't know what, say you need to look up something and you don't know what it is you're looking for, apropos is your friend. So hope you learned something. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Mastodon. Have a nice day. Goodbye.